Assalamu alaikum, this is Mubaraka, your health and happiness coach, and today I wanted to make a quick video about the psychology of the 5 pillars of Islam. So in psychology, we have identified things that are considered keystone habits. So keystone habits are habits that people adopt that create a snowball effect. So one of those things is exercise. They find that in research that when they have people to start exercising, that it snowballs into other things unintentionally. So people who exercise, they make better healthy eating choices. If they smoke, they find that smokers actually smoke less cigarettes. They also find that people tend to be more productive at work, right? They sleep better. So even when they don't intentionally change other parts of their life, it almost happens automatically. And so as a Muslim, it brought to mind the 5 pillars of Islam, right? So I'm always fascinated with the fact that often I come across research in science that appears to be new, but when I compare it to what we do in Islam, it really is just confirming what Allah and His Messenger has already prescribed for us, and it is just telling us the science of it or the psychology of it. So if you're Muslim, then you know that the first pillar of Islam is the belief in Allah. If you believe in Allah, then you are going to automatically start picking up other things that is going to affirm that belief, right? You're more conscious of what you do, how you treat people. This is before you are even very doing a lot of ibadah. And then salah particularly, and I had this conversation with my 15-year-old son about how important it is to make salah, that this is a keystone habit. When you make salah, when you are making your 5 prayers a day, then you are conscious of Allah. You are conscious that you should be refraining from sin, that you should be doing good. It brings a consciousness to you that keeps you in check, so to speak. But if you think about the other pillars, which was one of the things that was kind of like a really big aha moment for me, was zakah is the same way. Fasting in the month of Ramadan is the same way. Making Hajj is the same way. You know, when we see now that now in the age of social media, we don't get the text messages anymore or the phone calls where we get these long social media posts where people prepare themselves for Ramadan and they give forgiveness and they ask for forgiveness. And during the month, we do much more ibadah. Even now, leading up to the month, we start preparing ourselves. So it creates a snowball effect of behaviors in order for you to get the best out of the month, right? The same thing with zakah. If you are giving for the sake of Allah and you are conscious and this is your intention, then that consciousness is going to lead to other actions, right? It creates a snowball effect. Hajj, the same way. When people are preparing for Hajj, they do things that are beneficial to their deen. You get out of debt. You start to prepare yourself by doing more ibadah, by learning the du'as, by asking forgiveness and giving forgiveness and asking for dua and giving dua. So all of these things lead up to you performing that pillar. So the psychology of it is that the 5 pillars are keystone habits in Islam. And that's why in reflection and in review of them, that they're so important for us to do and to be consistent with, because they will affect every other thing in your life. But the most important reason has been told to us by Allah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in a hadith, he said that on the day of judgment, the first thing that we will be held accountable for is our prayer. And if that is in order, then everything else will be in order. And if that is deficient or it does not exist, then everything else will be deficient. That is such a testimony